Hello, today I'm going to do a house tour. There's a couple of things I do want to talk about. I know the audio is not going to be great because you're not plugged in to my mic. I'm going to show you around the house. The main things I have to say is it is not a clean house. It is nowhere near clean. It is pretty much how we're living at the moment. Bear in mind we just moved in about a month ago and cleaning the house hasn't been our priority. We got relatively low expectations in terms of how we need to live. So that is the key bit. I'm going to show you around the house from the door. I'm not going to show you exactly where I live just in case. I mean, I have had a stalker when I was younger, so I should know better. But I will show you around the house. It is a do-up house. I want to let you guys know it is not going to be your typical beautiful Instagram house tour. It is going to be a very realistic, very, I'm not saying not mine like down to earth and the other ones aren't. Very, it is what it is kind of house. So I hope you enjoy it. I love this house very, very much. It's not ready for viewing, to be honest, but you will see around the house it is messy. It is lived in and there's a lot of things are broken. There's a lot of things that are not fixed, but as I said before, it is a do-up house. I will talk more about the house later, but for now, let's go have a look at the house. Right, okay, so to orient you, this is our front door. This is where we're going to be starting. That thing, oh my gosh, it ruined one of our Saturdays. It would not stop beeping for like 3 hours straight. This thing, absolute nightmare. We ended up having to unplug the replacement battery, but I'm not even joking. I've called the fire brigade. I have called the police. I have called the emergency. I've called everything. I've Googled every company out there and I had no idea that when a fire alarm goes off, you are fucked. Anyway, so this is, as I said, this is the house. So this is the hallway and I did say it is messy, but bear with me, this is just an honest house tour. This is our front room. This is what it looks like at the moment. It is an absolute mess. We actually made this much worse. It wasn't like this before, I promise you, but we did have a hole here and we recently started filling this in. We are going to fill this in and paint over this. We are going to be picking our color, but this is essentially our front room. This is going to be our living room and this is the first room we are going to do up. Currently, it's just everything we moved from Swindon. It's just all here. That's the complete mess. We've started getting these. We have picked a couple of paints that we might be going for. So we're quite excited about it. We got Soft Lotus, which is a bit of a warmish colour. And then we got Salt Hills, which is a blue colour, like a slight blue colour, but we definitely want to go for a lightish colour. Those are the colours on the wall. This is the Soft Lotus and this is the Salt Hill. Will likes this. I like this too. I like both of them, to be fair. But this one for this room, I think will be quite nice because we're going to go for a slightly lighter one. So we're going to mix some white in this. But the idea is that this is going to be our relaxation room. We're hoping to get a TV on that thing here and a sofa. It's going to be here. So that's the idea here. This is our front room. Absolute mess, I know. Is that soil here? Yeah, that's soil right there. After this one, we have this room. I don't know if we actually got lights here. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's a bit dark because it's raining outside. This will go down the basement once the basement has been sorted. But as you can see, it is messy. But this is our current living room, current setup. This is Will's piano. We got some stuff. This is his golf corner where he put his golf clubs. This is, oh yes. So my wedding dress is here. I will be taking that upstairs into my room at some point. This is my third wedding dress. This is here with some of my gym stuff and some dress, some swimwear. But this is the other room. This will eventually be the dining room. So this is what we're going to end up having. We're going to keep the table. That's going to be our dining table. But essentially we have that room for relaxation, evenings, cuddles, TV. And then we got this room that is going to be like food, dinner room. Next one I'm going to show you is the kitchen. You might think, what the hell this is? This is the basement. This thing is scary. I am not going to show you this because honestly it's bad.
I don't understand the words you're saying.
Oh, never mind. I'll go with one I did now. I'll have that one. Okay. Now this is the kitchen. I really should have picked a time when it's nice and light. Laundry, because we actually do have laundry. I recently bought these stuff for the garden and yeah, I haven't really got round to it. In fact, I am going to show you a little bit of what I've done so far. I know we've got fire traps here for fun, but this is what I'm trying to do. Don't laugh, but that's what the garden looks like at the moment. It's meh, it is what it is. This is I love the fact we have 2 sinks. Love it. I love the floor. This is the mold things that I've been trying to sort out and it hasn't really done anything. There is a random toilet here. This part was full of mold before, but now it's not. Oh, also, I got all of this. Believe it, none of it is mine. They're all the students before. So again, 3 fridges. These 2 are not ours. It smells and we are going to get someone to remove it, but this is ours. This washing machine is not ours. This one is also not ours. Again, we're going to get someone to remove it. So that is the kitchen. I'm really sorry my laundry is out there, but I really need to do that. So once we got here, we're going to go upstairs. You can see it's a bit dirty, but you can see for the banisters we're missing one. And we're missing another one. I wouldn't put your weight on it, trust me. Got a massive window here, which I love. So let's go into the bedroom. Not much light again, very messy, but it's a very small bedroom. This is our little bedroom. We love it because we don't want anything too much. Behind that door is a tiny shower. We don't use that shower. We are going to get rid of that shower at some point. But I think in terms of the bedroom, it's going to be very, very simple. We are literally using it to sleep. We are going to have a walk-in closet instead. This is our tiny little bathroom. I'm not going to show you the whole thing just because it's a bathroom. No one needs to see the bathroom. Right. Next one is my room. This is going to be my recording room. Well, it is my recording room. You might recognize it. And my sewing room. So it is a massive mess. I don't know how to say it. I really misplaced that. That should be here. I realized when I started recording, whenever I need that mirror, useless. But that is my view. You get the 3 bins, actually 4 bins now. Get a view of the garden. During the evening, when the sun's setting, it is beautiful in this room. You get a beautiful like golden glow. The whole room is stunning. Anyway, this is my setup when I do want to record, and today is a recording day. But yeah, I sew in this room. I do painting in this room. I will do painting at some point in this room. But my guitar is here. My second wedding dress is here. My shoes, veil, they're all here. I love it. Anyway, so that is my room, my favorite room. Next one I'm going to show you is going to be our walk-in closet. So this is, again, like I said, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess, but it's going to be a walk-in closet at some point. It's honestly going to be the last room we do because we can't be bothered. This is none of our top priorities, put it that way. Next room we have is our workroom. This is the workroom. There is enough light. As soon as this is open and that is open, it's actually quite nice and light here. I love it. I love how we both work in this room. Now, we're gonna go to the attic. This attic has caused so much issues when we were purchasing it, but I think you'll see the difference in terms of the echo. and how stuffy it is. Stunning. I love this. Currently, this is where Will's doing his music stuff. I say currently, but it's his room. This is Will's room. There is a light here, so I might... There we go. It's a beautiful, massive room, and I love it. It smells so woody. Eventually, I'm sure he's gonna want some like sofa up here, something casual for him to sit down and relax in. I'm gonna choose what he wants to do, but I'm gonna let him decide. So that was the review of the whole house. I haven't taken you completely out into the garden, but I feel like there's not much to see personally. It's really raining, and I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not wearing any shoes. That's the house tour. It's a very, very small house tour. It's a very, very messy house tour, but I love the house. Me and Will, we both absolutely adore the house, and we could see what it can potentially become, and hopefully you guys can also see that as well. But let's go back into the video and talk about why we bought the house. So that was the overview of our house. I hope you enjoyed that house tour. To give you an idea, we know that the house is far from perfect. We know that some people might not even love the house, so people might not even want the house. But I think one thing that we have to make clear is that for us, the house is more than just a house. It is our home, it is our hard work, it is the result of our hard work. And I don't mean to go into the more sentimental stuff or anything like that, but I think the one thing that both Will and I are fairly overwhelmed about is realizing, kind of seeing the hard work, I don't want to say come to end, but to actually see the result of it. Because I think for both of us, we have both spent the past God knows how many years. I mean, even before we met each other, we have been saving for our own house, and we both wanted to own a place. We knew we wanted to do that. To give you an idea in terms of what we did for the past several years in order to be in a position where we can purchase a house, we have changed careers. We saved like nobody's business. We did not go out. We very rarely, I mean, we don't even go to restaurants throughout the 5 years. We very rarely go to restaurants. It's only recently after we purchased our property that we started buying drinks out. And when I say drinks, I don't mean alcohol. I mean like bubble tea, which, to be fair, with the prices these days, you might as well go and grab a beer. It's the first time that we actually go to Starbucks and enjoy a drink, or go and have bubble tea, go out and eat, go out and have pancakes. Those were the stuff that we never would even dream about when we were saving. We really did focus on the absolute bare minimum that we needed to live. And on top of that as well, as much as some people will say, yeah, live at home, absolutely, if you are able to do that, by all means, please. But for us personally, living at home was not an option. Not because our parents wouldn't want us, but I don't want to go into too much details, but in short, for our own mental health sake, it's best if we don't stay at home. So with that, we ended up moving a lot. We spent, I mean, for the past 5 years, we've moved 3 times, all to different places. Not because we wanted to, but because the place was cheap. We moved to Staffordshire, so in the middle of the Midlands, and rent there was about £495 for a 2-bed flat, which was insanely good. We've moved to Hounslow, which was back home, not because of anything, but it was actually because when we were in Staffordshire, to put it bluntly, there wasn't much opportunities. And at the time, I was at a crossroad with teaching, and I was kind of forced to pick whether I was going to stay in teaching and suck it up and just continue all the way down, or that's the time I'm going to change my career. So at that point, I've decided to change careers, and so we had to go back home. So we did live at home very briefly for 6 months, and we was like, we're out. We are going to find a place on his own salary. I didn't have a job back then. We rented a 1-bed studio flat in Hounslow for £1,000 a month. It was insane. That place was so expensive. But anyway, we did that for a whole year, and then we moved to Swindon. Swindon was £1,300, but we get a 3-bed house and a garden. So that was the time where I was able to start YouTube again and basically continued it all the way now. But over there, I know rent was a little bit more expensive, but everywhere was going up. And we stayed at Swindon for 2 years before we bought this house. And this is the first house that we own. We're first-time buyers. We're so proud of ourselves. It's not the perfect home, but it's the perfect home for us. It has a lot more meaning to us, which is why we are so protective of it, which is why we're not really opening the house to everyone just yet, just because sometimes when it's not your own home, some people can be a little bit, they like to be a little bit picky, let's just put it that way, and we don't want to deal with that. We don't want to hear any of that. Most people would have the courtesy of realizing that you just bought your first home and not to nitpick every single thing about the house, but some people might not have that awareness. So we decided to not open the house up to anyone just yet, because we don't want to hear that side of it. We don't want to hear people nitpick our baby, and that's essentially it. We love this house, we love the area, and we're so happy where we are. Granted, we haven't actually thought we were going to be buying this house. This house was kind of, I don't want to say out of our reach, but because it was a modern auction house, there was a reservation fee, and the reservation fee was 4.5% of the purchase price, and that was a non-refundable one. That was not an amount that was going to go towards the deposit. It wasn't going to go towards any fees. It was just an amount on top of it. And that was one of the reasons why we didn't go for this house. But this person from I Am Sold called us before then and said that he could remove that fee. And that's when everything changed, because before then we were actually going to go for a different house that was a 3-bed. This house, as you can see from the house tour, was advertised as a 5-bed house, but technically it is a 6-bed. I mean, when we did the viewing, it was 6 beds. If you want to know, this house was originally a student house, so you can see why certain things might not be very clean, might be a bit messy. That's kind of the reason behind it. Also, on top of it as well, I would say that because of the dealings of our solicitor and how useless our solicitor was, I might do a video about the whole process in a different video. But because of how useless, I think the seller was very frustrated. We did miss the deadline, and we almost lost our reservation fee, despite the fact of not having to pay. It's a whole confusion thing. I'll go into more details maybe in a different video. In short, when we arrived to collect our keys, the house was in a different state when we first viewed it. Our solicitor was incompetent, doesn't even justify it. I mean, currently we are reaching out to them to try and rectify what has been done. There's so many things that has been done horrendously. I mean, there was forms that were sent to the wrong firm that wasted time. They were charged us like double because they didn't bother reading their own documents. There were situations where they sent it to the wrong department. They've been requesting searches that we already have. And fees, we've been paying double fees almost on every single search. The whole thing was a mess. I had to do most of the work. Our mortgage advisor had to do most of the work. But because our solicitor was so incompetent, I think the sellers were so furious with us. And unfortunately, they've kind of left the house in an absolute wreck as well. There was shelving that has been ripped out. So to give you an idea, here, this used to be 2 shelves, and that's been gone. They've taken that out. The same thing in the bedroom. There used to be shelves completely ripped out. The one downstairs in the piano room, the shelves completely ripped out. We used to have a massive mirror in the hallway. Again, that's been taken. There used to be a small table, again at the hallway, been taken. There were 6 beds in this house, all been taken. There was a lot of stuff that's been ripped out, and they didn't bother painting over. They didn't bother about the holes. They didn't bother about anything. And it left the house in a, I'm just gonna say, in a slight worse state than it was. And when we first went to collect the keys, I don't know whoever was in here before, they left a pile of shit in the toilet. The toilet was broken. We had to fix the flush, and thank goodness we managed to fix the flush. But while I was flushing, I didn't know there was shit, actual human shit in the toilet. So I was breathing like normal, and I just breathed in someone else's shit. In the bins, I don't know why, there seems to be human waste. The wheelie bins, and we actually had to get someone to go and clean it, and literally had to tell them, like, I think there's like human waste in there. Just to let you know, it's not ours. But yeah, it was an absolute state when we arrived. But at this very moment, we managed to get the dust under control. When we first arrived as well, there was dust everywhere. We were itching our skins. We couldn't stay here overnight. We actually ended up going to a hotel just to kind of at least sleep, because we just traveled for 4.5 hours. We were knackered. I was not gonna travel another 4.5 hours back to Swindon. So that's essentially the house. But even after that, we still absolutely love the house. We do. We absolutely do. It's not perfect. It's not perfect for everyone. It's not everyone's cup of tea. But we love it. We see a lot of potential, and I hope you guys see some potential in this house too. But essentially, we are going to renovate the house. It is going to take a little longer, not your typical YouTube. Not your typical YouTuber where the kids, flip it in like 2 seconds. But we are still working. Both of us are working 9 to 5. I'm doing the YouTube on the side. But whenever we have time, whenever we have the finance, we will be renovating our rooms one by one. And if you are interested to see the before and after, how the house end up looking, please consider subscribing, because those videos will be coming eventually in the future. Obviously, just be a little bit patient. We are already working on the first room, but it's going to take some time. But yes, that was essentially our house tour and a slight overview on our house. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what's your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you next week. Bye!